Hello there, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jay Wolf, and so because of recent events in the Baltic Sea, I thought I'd make a little video explaining who I think it was that blew up that little unproblematic pipeline running through the Baltic Sea. Spoilers, it was the United States. Ah, shock, horror! But no, seriously, I do believe that it was us Americans who blew up the pipeline, and I'm going to explain why. But first, don't take what I say too seriously. As with most things involving the Ukraine Russo war, right now it's very unclear what's actually happening, and my video is not supposed to be a definitive statement. It's just an explanation of sorts as to why I personally can see that the United States sabotaged the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. So, firstly, before the war even broke out, the United States had already been stating that, quote unquote, if Russia invades, that means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine again, then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. Now, what does that mean exactly? How can the United States shut down a pipeline we're not in control of nor have any shareholders invested in? Well, when asked this question, our glorious Presidente said, quote unquote, we will. I promise you, we will be able to do it. So, yeah, a little ominous there, but that's our president stating outright and then doubling down on if Russia invades, then no more pipeline. Now, secondly, over the course of the last few months, ranging from September to July, or July to September, shall I say, right up and into the days when the pipeline was said to be sabotaged, there were U.S. joint naval operations going on around this very area of the Baltic Sea where the pipeline was said to be sabotaged. Now, this isn't really proof of anything because these kinds of operations are routine from my understanding, as were the Russian naval ships spotted around the area near the time of the pipeline sabotage. But what I do find interesting is what our Navy was testing during these joint exercises: unmanned undersea mine hunting technology. Pretty cool if you ask me, though I do find it real coincidental that our Navy would be testing this kind of equipment right around the area of the pipeline and right around the time when said pipeline was explodingly sabotaged. Also, during the September operations, right around the time of the pipeline sabotage, an unidentified helicopter was spotted around these waters. Now, this helicopter was eventually identified as being from the United States. What a coincidence! But that's not suspicious at all. Just an unidentified helicopter going for a joyride, you know. You know how it goes. Now, from the stories of military personnel that I've known in real life, it's entirely possible that a few buffoon-headed recruits took a copter out for a joyride and didn't notify anyone. But considering this unidentified helicopter wasn't reported in Western media, to my knowledge at least, I'm going to go on a limb and say, no, it was not a few rowdy 18-year-old recruits having a joyride. Now, to finalize my points in this video, we have to look at the responses to this pipeline sabotage. The Russians blame the Americans for the sabotage. The Americans, and the West in general, seem to be blaming the Russians. Now, I'm not going to go into whether or not these claims of the Russians exploding their own pipeline are true or not. I personally doubt they did, but I do see it as a vague possibility. I would like to, however, point to a few key people's responses to this event that caught my eye. Firstly, we have the chairman to the EU US delegation from Poland tweeting out his thanks to the Americans over a picture of a blown up pipeline, or at least the image that was taken of the blown up pipeline on the surface of the water, anyways. He went on to explain his reasoning, but the tweets have since been deleted, and I was only really able to get a few screenshots, which I've posted in this video. But I can assure you that he wasn't hacked, or joking. I read his tweets myself, and, well, anyways. The other figure I'd like to bring up is our General Secretary of the United States, who, in response to the pipeline sabotage, said this.
Ultimately, this is also a tremendous opportunity. It's a tremendous opportunity to, once and for all, remove the dependence on Russian energy, and thus to take away from Vladimir Putin the weaponization of energy as a means of advancing his imperial designs. That's very significant, and that offers tremendous strategic opportunity for the years to come. But meanwhile, we're determined to do everything we possibly can to make sure that the consequences of all of this are not borne by citizens in our countries, or for that matter, around the world.
Now, you don't have to agree with me that the US blew a hole in Russia's Nord Stream 2 pipeline. I'm making this video to showcase why I personally think that the United States did it. That's it. If more information comes out to counter my points in this video, then I'll change my mind. That's no problem. But until then, I hope you enjoyed the video, and goodbye!